Hi, welcome back to the Blissful Heart channel. I am Desiree Lee, here to give you your weekly Bliss Fix, specifically for the Twin Flame Collective for the week of December 8th to December 14th, 2017. Hi, welcome back to my channel, to all my subscribers, and for anyone that's new, I do energy reads and Twin Flame reads for the collective. I used to do 3D and 5D readings, but I've switched it back to energy reads as guided by spirit, and I just recorded the energy read, and wow, honestly, like, I already know for a fact, based on, my statistics through YouTube, that about half of you watch the energy read, and I'm saying, like, please watch the energy read. This is taking the energy read, watching the energy read is for you, okay? The twin flame is for your twin flame union, but it's so important for you to be plugged into yourself and to be acclimating, because there's giant portals opening this week. I honestly feel like it's, going to be opened on the 9th. That's the guidance I got. I didn't get it in the energy read, but in the time between recordings, I did get December 9th as a number. I feel like this next week is really monumental. It's coming off of last week's energy read, in my full moon reading that I did on my Facebook page, about like dreaming big and really like shifting your vibration to a higher frequency, getting ready to acclimate, to change. We're having some big fires here in Southern California, and there was a little earthquake earlier today. I mean, there's a lot of like ground shaking literally happening here, and metaphorically happening, and I really feel like it's like a calling out to all the light workers, all the healers, all the star seeds, all the people that are here to improve the planet, to wake up, like, get it together. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. And my spirit guides are so urgent about it. It is time for us to show up. So please, please, please watch the energy read. I won't be surprised to see some of those messages come through in this twin flame reading, but I really encourage you and ask of you to watch the energy read if you are here to help heal the planet. Like, it's your job, it's your obligation to get it together for this week, okay? It's big. It's big. All right, so I want to thank all of my subscribers. You guys mean so much to me, and I'm so glad to be back on YouTube. And I know I've said it before, but I just want to say it again. Like, there are so many of you that sent out some heartfelt blessings and prayers for me during my healing process, and I'm just so grateful. There was many times that I've been brought to tears with messages that I've received from you, from donations that I've received. I just feel really honored and blessed that you guys like me so much. And I love you guys too. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. I am still offering a 15% coupon code on all of my readings with the coupon code BLISSMISS. It's in the description box below. So if you've been waiting to do a reading with me, or you've been wanting to, now's a really great time with a huge deal of 15% off on all of my readings. So make sure to get that order in. And some people ask me, like, is there a way that I can get my reading in less than 2 weeks? Because I quote 1 to 2 weeks for my pre-recorded readings. And the answer is yes. Like a Skype reading, I can typically schedule within 3 days of your order. The Skype readings are great. They're a little bit more money, but you get to talk to me one-on-one, face-to-face. You can ask me questions. It's definitely more intimate, and I highly recommend it for any of you that are struggling with some shifts and blocks right now. Let's see. We do have Mercury retrograde going on, and honestly, I feel like this Mercury retrograde is the friendliest, most useful Mercury retrograde we've ever had. I don't know about you, but I've just been feeling like a surge of energy every day, just feeling really alive, really awake. I feel like I've been submerged underwater for so long, and I don't think that it was just about my surgery. I actually think that my surgery and my union were divinely timed, because there was a lot of things happening in the last 3 months energetically for all of us across the board, and now it feels like we've been unchained, and we're like elevating, and our vibration is rising, and it's time. It's time. Okay. So this week I'm going to be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed as our overall energy for the week instead of my numerology deck. And first we're going to take a look at the collective twin flame union energy for the week of December 8th to December 14th. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Card 29, breathe. That's a card 11. Yes. And then for the divine masculine for the week of December 8th to December 14th, Spirit, what is he dealing with, or what is he showing up with? We have the Fates, card 17, which is an 8. And then for the Divine Feminine for this week, Spirit, what is she showing up with for the week of December 8th to December 14th? Divine Feminine energy, message in a bottle, card 15, which is a 6. So we have 6, 8, and 11. Okay, so let's pull those cards up on the screen. For our union energy, we have card 29, breathe, and then the Divine Masculine showing up with the Fates card 17, and the Divine Feminine has message in a bottle, card 15. So for the union energy, we're talking about meditation. We're talking about taking a moment to pause. And Spirit is definitely like putting this message out to all of us, really, but I mean, for those of us that are awake and aware and are watching this video right now, you know, I just sent out that urgent message to you to get ready for this week, for this big portal change. And this is like Spirit's way of saying, okay, yes, there is a sense of urgency, but please take a moment to sit with your spirit guides, to sit with your higher consciousness, to breathe, to meditate, take a moment to reflect and pause, okay? You want to make sure that you're coming in to this portal with a sense of centeredness and certainty, okay? So definitely like accessing our higher 5D consciousness. Now, you know, this is obviously something that's suggesting that the Divine Masculine is going to be feeling that. And I really think that it's actually accentuated by the cards he got or she got. The Divine Masculine has the Fates, card 17, which is an 8. So this is about like karma completion, recognizing that you have no control. Okay, so I really feel that a lot of the Divine Masculines have like had goals, had like things that they wanted to do, yada yada blah, and like there's certain things that, you know, maybe they had intentions for that didn't work out, or, you know, I just feel like the Divine Masculine is really being forced into a space of surrender and acceptance. And he or she is really feeling the power of God or spirit, is feeling like I have no control, but not in like a I'm out of control sort of way, but like it's like an inner peace of like, wow, I don't really need to worry about anything because everything's taken care of. And so again, here we're seeing the Divine Masculine acclimating to higher levels of consciousness, to deeper levels of connection with spirit. And then the Divine Feminine has 15, card 6, message in a bottle. So this is definitely about spirit communicating to the Divine Feminine through signs and synchronicities, through messages from your guides if you're like highly intuitive and you can hear those messages. But we're definitely being shown where we're supposed to go. And Spirit's saying this has a lot to do with what they want you to show up for 2018, right? So this goes back to what I talked about last week with that dreaming and manifesting and dreaming really big and setting your goals high. So for any of you, Spirit's saying, for any of you that are feeling a little lost and confused in terms of what your mission work is or what the best thing for you to do is, come back to this union energy of meditate, like breathe, be aware of the signs, try not to overthink them, and just see what is showing up for you, you know. Animal totems, number synchronicities. You know, when I first like started to get aware of number synchronicities, I would like look that stuff up all the time. So I always say, you know, you can reference different websites for number synchronicities, numerology, that sort of thing, but definitely allow your intuition to be your guide, because there are certain number synchronicities that I have my own association with based on what I was going through in my life when I was seeing those numbers a lot. But you can always use them as signposts, and ultimately they always, always, always are your angels communicating with you. Okay, so just reminding you that you have a purpose. All right, so this is, I mean, this week is big. Okay. So for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine individual reads, I'm going to be pulling from the famous Psychic Tarot of the Heart, and then I'm also using the Mary L. Tarot. I don't have the box here, but here's the book, the Mary L. Tarot. This is a deck that I used to work with. I worked with in the past. It's been a while. The artwork is beautiful, and you know, I always, for any other readers, I really recommend this book because of the deep, deep philosophical and spiritual read in the book. The book is dense. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to take a look at what the Divine Masculine's intentions are for the Divine Feminine for the week of December 8th to December 14th for the Twin Flame Collective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are his intentions? Moving on, card 8. And then for the Divine Feminine, I'm just noticing that's 2 8s for the Divine Masculine because he had the Fates, which was a 17 or an 8 for his overall energy. Or hers. The Divine Feminine's intentions with her Divine Masculine for this week, Spirit. What is she or he showing up with? Card 9. Dreams coming true. Nice. I like it. And then for the fears and or blocks of the Divine Masculine for this week. What is the Divine Masculine confronting or needing to confront for December 8th to 14th? Challenging times. Card 5. And then for the Divine Feminine for this week, what is she showing up with for her fears and or blocks? Release, card 13, which is also the Death card and is a 4. I'm seeing number synchronicities here all over. Okay, and then for the action that the Divine Masculine may take either 3D or 5D for the week of December 8th to the 14th, he's showing up with awaiting results, card 7. And then the Divine Feminine's actions towards her Divine Masculine for the week of December 8th to the 14th is 12, observe. I really wish I could give you guys a shot of the cards on the table as well, but so you could see this layout. But we have 8, 9, we have 7. Okay, wait, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the Mary L. Tarot, and I'm going to ask the Angels of Truth, Love, and Light to add on or to suggest another message from the cards from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. The Divine Masculine's intentions are moving on, and 12, the Hangman. That's another 12. So the Divine Feminine showed up with the Hangman or observe in her action or his action. And excuse me, and then the Divine Feminine has dreams coming true in her intentions and King of Swords. Interesting, okay. And then for the blocks and or fears of the Divine Masculine, he or she is showing up with challenging times and 6 of Swords. This is a beautiful card of healing. And the Divine Feminine has release, the Death card in her fears or blocks, and Ace of Cups. Another love card for the Divine Feminine. And then the Divine Masculine's actions are awaiting results and 4 of Discs. And the Divine Feminine is observe, 12, or the Hangman. And, ooh, 2 cards. We have 18, the Moon, and Queen of Cups for the Divine Feminine's action. Beautiful. All right. So for our final message, I was torn between a few different decks, but I really feel called to use the Lightworker Oracle this week. So we're going to take a look at the Angels of Truth, Love, and Light. What is the final message you would like to deliver the Twin Flame Collective for the week of December 8th to the 14th? 13, trust in the plan, which is a 4. Or, as I was talking about last week, not breaking it down, card 13 is another elevation from card 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13. I honestly feel like we're going to start seeing more 11, 12s instead of 11 and 11. But, I mean, that's just a hit I got earlier today, so we'll see about that. But I am going to go ahead and sit with these cards, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've had a minute to sit with the cards, and this is a very interesting read. I feel like there's kind of like a pause button being pushed for the beginning of this week, and I feel like we'll receive the green light sometime this week. Everybody's kind of got a different green light situation happening here, but we definitely are kind of like, I feel like that overall message of just breathe, like just sit back and meditate and wait and observe is being echoed throughout this spread. So let's go ahead and pull up the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine's intentions for the week of December 8th through the 14th. The Divine Masculine is showing up with 8, moving on, and 12, the Hangman. And the Divine Feminine is showing up with 9, dreams coming true, and King of Swords. So in terms of intentions, the Divine Masculine, again, I feel has had some sort of confrontation with the fates, his overall energy, or hers, and is letting go of the things that aren't working, okay? So he's doing it, but he's doing it with like a hesitation, because he or she also has the Hangman card 12. So I feel like the Divine Masculine is ready to move on and wants to move on. However, the Divine Masculine is pausing in the suspension, right? The fates have him or her on hold, and he is really taking a moment, again, to breathe, to reflect, to observe, and to make sure that he's making or she's making the right choices in terms of what to move on from and what to move into. All right, so in terms of intentions, I mean, I don't feel that it's incredibly specific towards his or her Divine Feminine. However, it is incredibly specific about the Divine Masculine growing in his or her relationship with God and with his or her inner knowing or inner self. So, I mean, I feel like the Divine Masculine is incredibly centered and is feeling very patient. There's no urgency here on his end. Now, the Divine Feminine has dreams coming true and King of Swords. So, I mean, this definitely, like, Spirit is so funny. Spirit's just like, we want the Divine Feminine to focus on dreams coming true. So, yes, being in union is definitely, like, part of the Divine Feminine's dream, like full physical union, right? But Spirit also wants to make it very clear that, like, that's not the only thing you should be manifesting, right? You need to be manifesting where you see yourself as a soul, as an individual, independent person. What dreams do you have for you? And then also, you know, what would the collaboration of your energy with your twin look like when you come together? I feel kind of like it's almost, I hate to use the word test, but I kind of feel like it's almost like a little bit of a test for the Divine Feminine to, you know, have that awareness and that growth, that space of selflessness, to recognize that the full physical union is only a small fraction of the bigger picture of what twin flames are. And I always talk about this, right? But you know, when we come into full union, our energies will expand and acclimate as one, 2 souls becoming one. And, you know, we definitely have to make sure, and Spirit wants to make sure, that the Divine Feminine at the very least is in a very good space about giving and receiving and being a part of a bigger plan. And so the King of Swords is like, make sure you're clear. Like, have razor sharp clarity on these dreams. And this is like kind of the overall message that I got in the energy read last week. It showed up again this week, and then it definitely showed up as our overall energy for the twin flame read. Like, pay attention to the signs that you're receiving. Take yourself into a meditational space to really like visualize and imagine what 2018 is going to look like and what your union would look like. And you know, Spirit wants me to mention that includes like the other people that may or may not be involved in your twin's life that could be affected by the 2 of you coming into union. So I know I do a lot of readings for people that are recently divorced or maybe still currently married, or are in a relationship. There's children involved. There's other people involved in karmic relationships. So, you know, visualize a peaceful outcome for everybody involved. That is definitely something that, you know, I've always worked with, and, you know, it's something that I encourage you to work with as well. You have to look at the whole thread of energy in this web of how we're all connected. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the potential blocks and or fears. The Divine Masculine is showing up with 5 changing times and 6 of Swords. And then the Divine Feminine has 13 release and Ace of Cups. So I feel that the Divine Masculine is definitely like, you know, we look at the intentions that he or she has, and there's like this whole like taking a pause, reflecting on what they need to let go of. And I feel like the Divine Masculine is feeling challenged or a little bit afraid of like, well, if I choose what I feel is right, it means all this other shit. There are easier choices. So I feel like there's definitely like this confrontational energy for the Divine Masculine about having to face challenging times if he makes a choice that he feels in his heart or she feels in her heart is the right thing to do. So there's definitely that. And then the 6 of Swords on the positive aspect is about healing, okay? But on the blocked aspect, it's about, you know, feeling alone, feeling abandoned. I really feel quite strongly that this message is speaking specifically, and Spirit was just telling me, speaking specifically to Divine Masculines that are either married or in karmic relationships, and that would explain why I just talked about that. I feel like, you know, especially for Divine Masculines that are married with a karmic and have children, you know, there's like so many repercussions from getting a divorce and, you know, leaving his or her wife or, you know, or husband, right? So I feel like the Divine Masculine is feeling very overwhelmed by the obligation and the bounce back. You know, the karmic bounce back of making that choice to get a divorce or to move on or to leave his or her karmic. So I feel that the Divine Masculine is very much caught between kind of like a rock and a hard place where he does feel alone or she does feel alone in the karmic relationship that he or she is in. But, you know, he hasn't quite or she hasn't quite mustered up the energy to believe that, you know, he or she can deal with the challenges that will surface if choosing to leave the karmic situation or in the karmic situation. And so the Divine Feminine is showing up with her or his blocks or fears with Death of the Release card and Ace of Cups. So I feel like the Divine Feminine is definitely like aware of this transition that's taking place right now. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is that some Divine Feminines are like feeling a little fearful about, you know, shedding the skin that he or she is currently in, and thinking like, if I elevate too high, I will go so far away energetically. Like, this is something the Divine Feminine is thinking. I will elevate at such a higher frequency than my Divine Masculine's current state that we could lose our connection, or that we won't get together because he or she will see me as this distant energy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Divine Feminine is definitely like feeling fearful about expanding too much because she or he is afraid of losing his or her twin by expanding too much, right? So, and then the Ace of Cups is talking about this fear of, or is actually talking about being blocked from receiving messages from the Divine. So again, I feel like the Divine Feminine is not realizing that there's nothing he or she can do that will cut or destroy your union, okay? Your union is divinely timed. It will happen as long as you stay true to your path and you stay committed to healing yourself and being of service. And that does not mean waiting for your twin. I know that, like, for some of us, for me, that was definitely something that I was pushed into. You know, I was single for a very, very long time without really knowing that I was a twin, but that doesn't change the fact that I was going through all of the motions of being a twin. So, you know, you don't have to have a name or a title or a label to be something. I hope you know that. You know, maybe you just discovered you're a light worker yesterday. That doesn't mean that you have not been a light worker for the last 10 or 15 years, right? I mean, we know that. We're like smarter than that. We know that we don't have to have a label for ourselves in order for it to be true. I hope so. Because, I mean, I know I've received comments on my YouTube before where like, oh, she just found out she was a twin. And it's like, Yeah, so that doesn't mean that I wasn't doing the spiritual work before I found out. And the same goes for you. And I'm sure that some of you that recently awakened, which many of us recently awakened to being twins in the last 2 years, like can look back on everything that was transpiring in your life prior to the awakening and go, yes, 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 everything's been shaping and cultivating and pushing me into this space. So anyway, that was a tangent. The Divine Feminine is feeling afraid of outgrowing and spiritually outgrowing his or her twin, and Spirit saying, don't block that love. Like the Ace of Cups is saying, God has your back. Don't be afraid of that. Allow yourself to be open. Trust in the signs. Take that step forward. Take that leap off the cliff, you know, be the fool, okay? So then we're looking at the action, and I'm pulling these ones up separate because I got 3 cards for the Divine Feminine, 3. So we have 7 awaiting results and 4 of discs for the Divine Masculine. And then the Divine Feminine has 12 observe, which is the Hangman, 18 the Moon, and Queen of Cups. So again, for both Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, we're seeing this patience ultimately. And the Divine Masculine's action is basically no action. I mean, it's really fascinating to me, like the whole week for the Divine Masculine is about observance and reflection. And I feel like it's ultimately like obviously for his or her greatest good to, you know, be in a space of reflection, to honor and acknowledge where he or she is being challenged and what he or she needs to let go of. So again, you know, and I said this in my energy read, I think we're going to see a lot of the same messages repeat next week in terms of dreaming and manifesting. And then the 4 of disc is all about like this foundational energy of like home and money and grounding and success. The discs are the pinnacles in the traditional tarot. So it's kind of like a, you know, an early foundational energy. So I really feel in terms of actions, I mean, and I'm realizing that the 7 is the 7 of Pentacles as well. So 2 very earthy energies. I feel like the Divine Masculine is you know, assessing his or her home life and family life. And B, you know, waiting for some other shoe to drop, metaphorically. Like I feel like the Divine Masculine is waiting to make a choice. And Spirit's pointing to the Fates card again. He or she is allowing God to guide. And he or she may not be consciously going, I'm allowing God to guide me. I pray to God, you know. And yet he may be, or she may be. Like I know a lot of Divine Masculines are very spiritual. However, if they're not like the kind of Divine Masculine that prays, they're definitely like in a holding space and kind of like, I'm going to listen to my gut on this. I know I'll know when I know. Like they just call it something else, right? Okay, and then the Divine Feminine has the Hangman, 18, the Moon, and Queen of Cups. So look at that, right? The Divine Feminine is showing up in her action with the same energy that the Divine Masculine has in his or her intention. So, I mean, there's that mirroring, right? There's that mirroring. And the Divine Feminine is also in a holding space of like reflection with that Moon energy of like deep soul searching, of listening to his or her intuition. And then the Queen of Cups is like showing up with love, with patience, with compassion, holding space. Yes, Spirit is like holding space. I feel like it will be of great service to all of us to really like meditate and to hold space, not only for our twins, not only for ourselves, not only for the collective of twin flames, but beyond that, for the whole planet, right? I mean, there is a sense of urgency as light workers to really show up for energetically with prayer and intention and meditational energy this week. And I feel like basically the action is no action on both ends. So I can't wait to see what next week's going to look like with all this like deep thought and reflection happening this week. So our final card, we have Trust in the Plan, card 13. And Spirit's really telling me not to break it down, that it's just 13. I'm going to go ahead and read from the book here. In preparation for radical growth, there can be temporary disorder and chaos. Whilst the mind may worry that something is going wrong, the spirit knows that this is a way for the old to disassemble so the new can be formed. Although you may feel out of control during such times, you do not need to resist the process. There is no need to attempt to impose your own sense of order upon the greater plan. You do not need to seek solutions, for there is no problem here in need of solving. What has been is being cleared away in preparation for the next chapter in your life. Have faith. All is well. Do not fear. You may see the life you have known appears to be ending, and it is. You may find that the things you used to do or the way you used to think no longer seem as relevant as they once were. You may feel your relationships and friendships are changing. Spirit's telling me this is very much the energy of the intention of the Divine Masculine this week, but also for the Divine Feminine. Some may even be ending. Perhaps you find you no longer have the energy or motivation to keep certain relationships going in your life. However, your energy is meant to be withdrawing from what it once supported. This is not an abandonment or betrayal. It is not selfish. It is honest. When you trust in your spiritual growth, all that happens is love. That means that even an apparent loss always serves love, whether that is immediately obvious or not. It is sometimes necessary for both parties to become free to live their true destiny. Life is a loving, creative journey for your soul. That means there will be times when the very thing you have worked towards needs to crumble so that the next evolution of your soul manifestation upon the earth can take place. It is natural, and although it can be challenging to trust in greater creative process during times when it seems as though there is only chaos and confusion, you are strong enough spiritually to do so. To feel peace during such times, you must trust in your own inner knowing over what appears to be. I'm going to repeat that. To feel peace during such times, you must trust in your own inner knowing over what appears to be. You are divinely scheduled to evolve at this point in your life. Hallelujah. Can you sense an exciting growth phase happening for you? There is another way for you to live, to be, so to thrive and love in this world, and you are rapidly heading towards it. This is a time of surrender control. This is a time to surrender control and allow a higher power to direct your course. Many exciting new opportunities, situations, and connections will come into your life as a result of what you are experiencing now. It is all part of a greater divine intelligence unfolding in loving service to your own sacred life path. Have faith and stay true to your spiritual principles. Trust in an unfolding higher plan. Know that all changes in your life serve your higher good. The universe knows what you need and is in the process of delivering it to you now. All is happening for a greater purpose. You can flow with the changes in loving trust. Your perfect time for resurrection will follow this deconstruction, and it will occur in the perfect way. Wow. I mean, what a perfect message. I always love using Alana Fairchild's decks because the messages are always on point. I mean, this is really an echoing of everything that took place in the spread today, as well as an echoing of the energy read. So let's do this invocation. You're going to bring your hands in prayer and close your eyes, connecting with your heart center. Taking a breath in and a breath out. And you're going to feel these words or take these words on as your own. I call upon the loving genius of divine order that is manifesting itself in my life right now. I have gratitude for the grace, compassion, truth, and liberation that is expressing itself through the changes now happening or soon to happen in my life. Thank you for always guiding me onto my truest and most joyful path. I ask through unconditional love for assistance, insight, and support to help me trust in the plan of love unfolding in my life. I ask for this same gift for all living beings through divine grace and my own free will. So be it. So be it, so be it, so be it. Bringing our thumbs to our third eye center as we bow to this divine power. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Spirit of love and light. May we all surrender to this truth. May we all allow our own inner knowing and our connection with the divine to guide us, to empower us with trust and faith in this process, and to allow ourselves to shed this old skin so that we may be reborn and step into the light of God, step into our truth, and be of service to all of humanity, all life on this planet. May we all be beacons of love and hope. Many, many, many blessings. Thank you, God. I will talk to you next week. Mwah.